very much for joining us in the aftermath of the Christmas celebration. We say Happy New Year to you. And of course, the year is already ongoing and there are sporting events across the globe are happening. And all we'll do here on Sports Splash is to bring you up to the very latest as regards that. My name is Ike Nwokedi. On the show, yes, 60% of the program today will venture more on grassroots sports. And this period will have lots of sports actions going down the state. We'll tell you about the Obese Unity Cup competition, how Amobia got the better of Anise in the finals of that one. We'll also talk about the Ubo Gelega Challenge Cup, a competition made for Amobia Town being bankrolled by the Deputy Speaker of the Anambra State House of Assembly, Honorable Chukwuma Okoye. Right, Honorable Chukwuma Okoye. We'll talk about that on the show. Also, we'll tell you about the Nanka Champions League as Mpo got the better of Omoahia branch in the Nanka Champions League. We'll also be talking about the Omonachi All-Stars Novelty Football match between Team Odilora and Team Uzo. It was bankrolled by engineer Emeka Okonkwo, who is the MD and CEO of Atma. We'll talk about that on the show. Also, marathon is back. We'll tell you about the Aguata Marathon, who were the winners, and this was a great one, an initiative of the TC chairman of Aguata LGA, Honorable Chibike of Obike. We'll talk about that on the show. And then we'll talk about a Solution Football Club of Anambra State. Anambra-owned club are set to be back to action in the Nigeria National League. The match day 7 is upon us, and it's this Sunday at Enugu. We'll talk about that on the sports show, Sports Today, Sports Splash on ABS and TV. Now, let's begin with our first story. Our first story is from Dunukofia LGA, and this one is about the Omonachi All-Stars Novelty match. Well, let's tell you that Team Odilora on Wednesday, the 3rd of January 2024, defeated Team Uzo by 3-1 in the 4th edition of the annual Omonachi All-Stars Novelty Football match, bankrolled by Honorable Engineer Emeka Okonkwo, proprietor of Kunti Football Club. The annual Omonachi All-Stars Novelty Football match is an initiative of the former TC chairman of Dunukofia LGA and current MD and CEO of Anambra State Road Traffic Management Agency, Atma, Honorable Engineer Emeka Okonkwo, fondly known as Conti, geared towards honoring ex-professional footballers and sports personalities in Omonachi Town. This year's edition was coordinated by Mr. C.Y. Okalia, Honorable Emeka Odiono, and Mr. Michael Ongoba. In the match, I played at the community primary school, Omonachi Ikenna Uzo's goal in the 14th minute, and a brace from Chukwu Emeka Orebuna, popularly known as Mourinho, in the 52nd and 79th minutes, ensured Team Odilora came out at tops as Tochukwu Ongoba's effort in the 64th minute was only a consolation from Team Uzo. Addressing the media after the match, Engineer Okonkwo stated that the aim of the novelty match is to gather old Omonachi ex-professionals that played football across the world to come together during the festive period, showcase their skills and reflect on their past days and have fun. We do this every year, as on the 3rd of January every year has been set aside for Omonachi All-Stars Novelty Football match, where old Omonachi ex-professionals who've played the round letter game gather across the globe, come together to play against each other during the festive period. During this game, we choose 2 ex-internationals who play the game to captain 2 sides that play against each other, reflect on their past experiences, and motivate young and upcoming footballers, and as well have fun. Thereafter, Engineer Okonkwo stated on his part, an indigene of the community, Dr. Chibike Amochazi, commended Engineer Okonkwo for the thoughtful initiative bringing them together to share their commonalities and values together. He emphasized that this will help to create the right bond, unite not just exports professionals together, but indigenes of the community as well. The All-Stars crew on display will motivate young players, while he promised to bankroll the academicals football program during the festive period of the 2024 year. Other highlights of the event was the presentation of awards to Chief Marcel Mwazulu, Ambassador Ede Uzo, Mr. Patrick Patrick Iluno and Ambassador Sunday Odilora for their contributions to the growth of sports in Umunnachi Town. Chief Marcel Nwazulu, who spoke on behalf of the award recipients, thanked Engineer Okonkwo and the coordinators for recognizing their efforts towards the growth of sports in the community and beyond, while promising not to relent in their efforts in helping sports to move to the next level in Umunnachi Town, which is a town domiciled in Dunukofia LGA of Anambra State. So we say congratulations to Team Odilora, and also we say kudos to Engineer Emeka Okonkwo, fondly known as Akonti, who is the CEO and MD of Atma for bankrolling this one. And this one is the 4th edition. He has promised that as the years goes by, it will get better and better. So that was how it went down on the 3rd of January 2024 as regards to the Umunnachi All-Stars Novelty football match. Let's leave Umunnachi. Let's go to the Obizi. And this time around, we'll go to Umuawolo. Let's tell you that Amobia Town have emerged as champions of the 2023-2024 Obizi Unity Cup competition to retain the trophy they won in the previous 2022-2023 edition, the annual football competition, which is bankrolled by the Deputy Speaker, a member representing Oka South Constituency 2, the Anambra State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Chukwuma Okoye, fondly known as Juan Ayeze, had this year's opening match and grand finale played at the Max Anglican Church Field, Umuawolo, in honor of the illustrious son of Umuawolo, late Chief Chukwudi Okafor, Amulonyenego no Umuawolo. Amobia Town saw off Nice by 5-3 on penalty shootouts after a scoreless affair at the end of regulation time to smile home with a cash prize of 600,000 naira, while Nice settled for the second prize of 400,000 naira. Earlier on in the 3rd and 4th place playoffs, Nibo community walked over Isiago to claim the 3rd prize of 300,000 naira, while Isiago settled for the 4th prize of 250,000 naira, with Umuawolo, Ezinato, and Mbuku communities are going home with a sum of 100,000 naira each for featuring in this year's edition. In the individual award categories, the best goalkeeper of the competition went to Miracle Ejima of Amobia. Most valuable player MVP Gong went to Madabuchi Okoyuche from Nice. Emmanuel Ezamama of Nibo, who raked in 3 goals, was declared the highest goal scorer of the competition, while Amobia Town were adjudged the best behavior team. According to the competition sponsor, Right Honorable Chukwuma Okoye, the annual Obizi Unity Cup is one of his projects geared towards empowering the youth of the town and by extension Obizi Dynasty through the instrumentality of football, as well as encouraging peaceful coexistence among the people of the 7 communities. Right Honorable Chukwuma Okoye is also the sponsor of the annual Umo Giliga Walk for Life program, as well as the Umo Giliga Challenge Cup featuring the 7 communities of Amobia. And now that will lead us to our third story. Our third story is about the Umo Giliga Challenge Cup. It used to be the Amobia Unity Cup, just change of nomenclature. This is a competition that happens in Amobia, being bankrolled by Right Honorable Chukwuma Okoye. And of course, you can see from the first day when the competition started, 6 villages were involved in Group A. Group A had Umuese, Umukabia, and Ezimezi, while Group B had Adabebe, Enwoji, and Ngene. It may interest you to know that from Group A, yes, in Group A, Umuese finished, Umuese and Ezimezi qualified from that group, while from Group B, Ngene Village and Enwoji qualified from that group. And of course, the first match on 20th of December 2023 was between Umuese and Umukabia. It happened at the Central School. And right now, I can tell you that the 3rd and 4th place match is already happening right now at the Central School, Amobia. Just before we came on live, interacted with one of the coordinators, Chisom and Auna, who told me that right now, Enwoji Village is currently taking on Ezimezi, and Enwoji Village beating Ezimesi by 1-0, and that's at the third and fourth place match. Let me also inform you that in the semi-finals, Ngene Village defeated Ezimesi by 2-1, while Omueze they took on Enuoji, and the game ended in a scoreless affair. He went on to penalties, and Omueze saw off Enuoji by 3-1. That was why Ngene and Omueze went to the final. So the third and fourth place match is on right now between the two teams, the two villages that lost the semi-finals. That's talking about Enuoji and Ezimesi. And at the moment, as I can talk to you, the match is already ongoing at the Central School, Amobia. And I can tell you that Enuoji Village are currently beating Ezimesi by 1-0. The finals of the Obo-Ogelega Challenge Cup competition will happen later today by 3 p.m. at the Central School, Amobia. And in that match, Ngene Village is expected to take on Omueze. So it's the cracker coming up later today. Ngene Village taking on Omueze in the finals of the Obo-Ogelega Challenge Cup, also known as the Amobia Unity Cup, being bankrolled by the member representing Awka South Constituency 2 at the Anambra State House of Assembly. Is also the Deputy Speaker of the Anambra State House of Assembly, talking about Right Honorable Chukwuma Okoye Wana. Yes, and the winner of the Obo-Ogelega Challenge Cup, Amobia Unity Cup, will go home with a whopping sum of 400,000 naira. The team that finished second will smile home with 300,000 naira, while the team that finished third is expected to go home with a sum of 200,000 naira as for their exploits. So that's already what's happening right now in Amobia. Now let's move on now to our next story. Our next story is just the picture you saw now. It's about the marathon in Agwata. Yes, and there was this marathon in Agwata, the 2024 Agwata marathon, and according to the sponsor and the organizer, talking about the TC chairman of Agwata LGA, Honorable Dr. Chibeze of 4BK, he said that this is a competition, this program is meant to empower youth, and those who got some fantastic prizes will also have the funds to actually enhance their academic endeavor, and those who are equally into business will also use that to also empower their business. And let's tell you that for the winners, and let's tell you that in the male category, the first position after the marathon, who finished first in the male category, it was Ejike Kenneth from Oga. Yes, Ejike Kenneth from Oga finished first in the male category of the 2024 Agwata Marathon. Congratulations to him. He went home with a sum of 500,000 naira. Second position was Franklin Onyike from Amesi. Franklin Onyike finished second in the male category, and he smiled home with the grand prize. He smiled home with 300,000 naira. And third position went to Opalobi Okukwe. Opalobi Okukwe finished third in the male category, and he's from Abo, and that man went home with the sum of 200,000 naira for finishing third. Yes, in the female category, yes, male and female featured, and the ladies were not left out. In the female category, and who talked about who finished first, let's tell you that Saffron Ibe from Oga finished first in the female category. She smiled home with a sum of 500,000 naira. And let's tell you that the second position in the female category, still talking about the 2024 Agwata Marathon, went to Happiness Umezinwa. Happiness Umezinwa was from Mbologu. Yes, she registered to run from Mbologu, and then she finished second and went home with a prize of 300,000 naira. And third position went to Olivia Moneme. Olivia Moneme from Amesi finished third in the 2024 Agwata Marathon, and she smiled home with a sum of 200,000 naira. And of course, according to Chibeze, according to Honorable Chibeze of 4BK, the TC chairman of Agwata, he said we have succeeded in not only creating a vibrant environment, but rightly empowering these young people for the year 2024 through the 2024 Agwata Marathon. Let's just go through the results once again. In the male category, first position went to Kenneth Ejike of Oga. Second position went to Franklin Onyike of Amesi, and third position went to Okukwe Opalobi from Akpo. In the female category, the winner was Saffron Ibe from Oga. The second position went to Happiness Umezinwa of Mpologo, and the third position went to Olivia Moneme from Amesi. We say congratulations to the winners, 500,000 naira winners, 300,000 naira winners, and 200,000 naira winners for all those that featured. And I can tell you that there were more than 500 athletes who registered for this edition, this 2024 edition of the Agwata Marathon. It happened on the 3rd of this month, and we say congratulations. That was on Wednesday. We say congratulations to them and kudos to the TC chairman of Agwata LGA, talking about talking about Honorable Dr. Chibike of BK for what he is doing out there through sports out there in Agwata LGA. Let's move on the show. Time for us to go back and talk about another sport at the grassroots level. This time around is the Nanka Champions League. Yes, at the Nanka Champions League, this year's edition of the Nanka Champions League was quite historic. It was at the 40th edition, a competition being bankrolled by Professor Polly Emenike, the CEO and MD, Neros Pharmaceuticals Limited. It was a competition that had the NFF president in the person of Ibrahim Musa Gusso. Coming live to felicitate and eulogize Professor Polly Emenike, and Mpo branch have emerged at the 40th edition, the champions of the 40th edition in the finals on New Year's Day at the Nehru Stadium. Ifena Okoye's goal in the 22nd minute was enough to ensure the side was smile home with a bite of the cherry of 1.2 million. As Umuahia settled for the second prize of 900,000 naira. Ota branch claimed the top prize of 600,000 naira after seeing off Aquara branch by 2 unreplied goals in the encounter. In the individual awards, Christian Wokedi of Ota branch claimed that the gong off the highest goal scorer with 5 goals, and the best goalkeeper award went to Obioma Mbwemena of Mpo branch, while the most valuable player award went to Oscar Eze of Mpo branch. The higher points of the finals was the visit of the NFF president Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusso, who felicitated and eulogized Prof. Emenike for his immense support towards the growth of the round leather game in the state and the country at large. Other highlights of the grand finale was a special award to Professor Emenike by Rangers International, led by MD and CEO Barrister Amobi Ezako, and presentation of a customizer shared by Swan Anambra chapter. Also present during the final is the chairman of the Anambra State Football Association, the hardworking chairman in the person of Chief Chikelu Ilenyosi, the general, alongside the top dignitaries in the state and beyond. And I can tell you, the general Chikelu Ilenyosi was there to felicitate with Professor Polly Emenike, and also the NFF president in the person of Ibrahim Gusso. Congratulations to Mpo community, and we say kudos once again to Professor Polly Emenike for bankrolling the Champions League, Nanka Champions League, to the tune of 1.2 million naira for the winner, which went to Mpo, and 900,000 naira, which went to the losing finalists in Umuahia. Let's move away from that now. Let's talk about a bit about the African Nations Cup starting this month. The AFCON will be starting this month. And let's tell you that Nigerian midfielder Frank Onyeka has explained that Premier League club Brentford will be able to cope with his absence during the impending African Cup of Nations. The 25-year-old midfielder has been named in Nigeria's final squad for the AFCON in Ivory Coast, and is set to miss several weeks of action for the Bees. However, he believes that Brentford have the squad at depth to soften the blow of his absence. It's not going to be easy, but I know the team, they are strong. Onyeka stated, when someone leaves, another person is there to take their place. The midfielder will not enjoy being away from his club, especially after they suffered the 5th straight loss when going down at the hands of Crystal Palace, and that was this past weekend. But as the representing the Super Eagles is always a special moment for him. I will always want to represent my country on the big side on the big stage is an honor to wear the green and white shirt. So it's something that I have to do. Onyeka explained. I was a boy playing in the street of Nigeria, and now I'm representing the Super Eagles at the AFCON. It's a dream come true, because after watching AFCON legend in the past years, now you are going to be part of the team. I'm looking forward to it so much. He stated Brentford will next be in action this Friday when they face Wolverhampton Wanderers in the FA Cup, while Nigeria will face a Group A opponent, Equatorial Guinea, Ivory Coast, and Guinea-Bissau, and that's coming up on the 14th, 18th, and 22nd of January, respectively, at the AFCON, which is set to start very shortly. It will be starting this month in Ivory Coast. And let's tell you that 4-time African champions are Ghana. Yes, Ghana will camp in South Africa ahead of the 2023 African Cup of Nations AFCON finals, and the Black Stars are expected to spend around 10 days in South Africa, where they will engage in crucial preparations, with the camp set to kick off on 31st of December 2023. Ghana, who are under the guidance of coach Chris Hughton, will play a friendly match against Botswana on the 8th of January 2024, and the Black Stars will assemble in Johannesburg, South Africa on Sunday, December 31st, 2023 to begin preparation for next month's Total Energies African Cup of Nations. A GFA statement read, and the team will spend approximately 10 days in South Africa in readiness for Africa's flagship competition slated for Cote d'Ivoire from Saturday, January 13 to Sunday, February 11, 2024. And the Black Stars are paired in Group B alongside a giant Egypt and Cape Verde and Mozambique, and Ghana will open her campaign against Cape Verde coming up on Sunday, January 14, and the team will face record holders Egypt on Thursday, January 18, before playing Mozambique in the final Group B game coming up on Monday, January 22, 2024. It's all about the African Nations Cup, and January 13th kickoff of that will also make sure that will bring you up to the very latest as regards the biggest competition in the continent, talking about the African Cup of Nations, and the Super Eagles will also start their quest on the 14th. We'll be watching out for that, and it will be also on ABS platform. We'll bring you up to the very latest as regards that one. Still talking about the African Nations Cup, let's tell you that Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey has been left out of a Ghana squad for the 2023 African Nations Cup, which is expected to start on the 13th of this month. And Partey, 30 years of age, has been out since the month of October with a hamstring injury, and Brighton right back Tariq Lamptey also misses out because of injury. But West Ham midfielder Mohamed Kudus, Bournemouth forward Antoine Semenyo, and Leicester City defender Daniel Amati are still all in the 27-man squad. Captain Andre Ayew, now at a French club Le Havre, is set to feature at a record equaling 8 AFCON finals. However, PAOK left back Babara Man ruled himself out of a selection to concentrate on his club form, while winger Abdul Fattah, who is on loan at Leicester from Sporting CF, is also absent. And the 2023 African Cup of Nations finals is expected to begin on 13th of January and end in the finals on 11th of February. And let's give you the full squad for Ghana. For the full squad, we'll have for goalkeepers, we'll have Lawrence Ziggy of St. Gallen in Switzerland, Richard Ofori of Orlando Pirates in South Africa, and Joe Walcott of Hibernia in Scotland. Defenders will have Daniel Amati of Leicester City in England, Alexander Jiku of Fenerbahce in Turkey. We'll have Abdul Fattah Hamidou of Mediama in Ghana, Gideon Mensah of Auxerre in France, Denis Odoi of Club Brugge in Belgium, Nicolas Opoku of Anies in France, Mohamed Salisu of Monaco in France, Kingsley Schindler of Samsunspor in Turkey, and Alidou Seydou of Clermont Foot out there in France. For midfielders, I will have Majid Ashimero of Anderlecht in Belgium, Osman Bukari of Restars Belgrade in Serbia, Baba Idris of Real Mallorca in Spain, Ransford Königsdorf of Hamburger SV in Germany, Mohamed Kudus of West Ham United in England, Richmond Lamptey of Asante Kotoko out there in Ghana, Elisa Owusu of Auxerre in France, John Pensio of Genk in Belgium, and Salis Abdul Sani need of Lens in France. And for attackers, we have Andre Ayew making his 8th appearance at the AFCON. He plays for Le Havre in France, and he's the captain of the side. Jordan Ayew, his younger brother, plays for Crystal Palace of England, and is also in the squad. Let's also tell you that Ernest Anuama of Molenbeek in Belgium was also called up alongside Antoine Semenyo of Bournemouth in England, Jonathan Sowa of Mediama in Ghana, and last but not the least, I will have Idiaki Williams of Athletic Bilbao out there in Spain. That's it for the 27-man squad for Ghana as we anticipate the AFCON coming up later this month. You're watching Sports Splash on ABS TV. We'll go for a very short break. When we come back on the show, we'll wrap up the show with some tennis news, athletics, and then we'll tell you about Solution Football Club. They are set to take on Giant Brillas in Enugu coming up on Sunday in the match day 7 of the Nigeria National League. We'll be right back.
Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS. With delight, we bring you the light that we bear through our illustrious leaders. Our icons. Our industrious people. Our rich culture, our places of pride, and our mouth-watering cuisine. With unbridled professionalism and
You're still there. Welcome back to the show for the second half of our Sports Splash, the Friday edition. I remain your host, Ike Nwokedi. In the first half of the show, we told you lots that went down as regards to grassroots sports. We told you about Umonachi All-Stars Novelty Football competition being bankrolled by engineer Emeko Okonkwo, fondly known as Conti, who is the MDCO of ATMA, Anambra State. We equally told you about the Obese Unity Cup competition, how Amobia won it. We told you about Ogelega Challenge Cup in Amobia, how Ngene will take on Omoese in the finals coming up today. We told you about the Nanka Champions League, how Mpo saw offer Omoahia branch in the finals of Nanka Champions League, bankrolled by Professor Paulie Emenike. The 40th edition was this year. Also, we told you about the City Marathon out there, Agwata City Marathon, and we told you about the champions. Now, let's move on as we draw towards the closing stages of the show. Let's tell you that Kenya's Beatrice Chebet broke the women's world 5-kilometer record at the Costa del Nasosa road race, and that was in Barcelona. The 23-year-old crossed the line in 14 minutes and 13 seconds, beating Ethiopian Sembere Teferi's women's only record by 16 seconds. And Kenya's Beatrice Chebet broke the women's world 5-kilometer record at the Costa del Nasosa road race out there in Barcelona. And let's tell you in tennis that Emma Raducanu is out of the Auckland Classic after failing to a 6-7, 7-6, 6-1 defeat by second seed Elina Vitolina in the second round. And the Britain playing her second match since wrist and ankle surgeries raced into a 5-1 lead in the first set before taking it to the tiebreaker. And Vitolina won at the second after another tiebreaker end with Raducanu tiring took the third in just 31 seconds. So now to football. Let's tell you about Ivan Toney. Ivan Toney in football. Let's tell you that Brentford boss Thomas Frank says it will take an unbelievable offer to price striker Ivan Toney away from the club at this month. And London rivals Arsenal and Chelsea have been linked with the 27-year-old who could return from betting ban to face Nottingham Forest on the 20th of January. Frank, however, is confident that the England forward will remain at the club beyond the January transfer window, and Brentford will be keen for Toney, who scored 21 goals last season, to return to the side after falling to defeat in their last 5 matches. And now Frank Onyeka has also left for the African Nations Cup, so they quite need Ivan Toney back in their setup. And lastly, let's talk about Anambra Club, a Solution Football Club. Yes, a Solution Football Club will on Sunday. That match should have been on Saturday, but we hear, according to the NNL management, that the match, of course, you can see that the graphics is still showing that the game is for Saturday, but the match is happening on Sunday, the 7th of January 2024. It will happen at the UNECA Stadium in Enugu, and it's a match between, Giants Brillas are taking on Solution FC, and that's a match day 7 of the Nigeria National League. So we'll be watching out for that. The time is at 3 p.m. at the UNEC Stadium. It's not Saturday, it is now Sunday, according to information we are getting. On that note, that's about the size of the program. Sports Splash on ABS TV. And of course, if you are in Enugu, be around there at the UNEC Stadium to watch Solution AFC take on Giant Brillas. And remember, today also, the finals of the Obo Gelega Challenge Cup will happen at the Central School Amobia, and it's a match between Ngene and Umuese at the Central School Amobia. When we return on Monday, we'll serve you all the results of the matches that went down this weekend. That's the show, Sports Splash, for this Friday. Thanks a lot for being part of it. We'll be right back for another episode on Monday. Until then, have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye now.